I want to thank uh, every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer because you guys paid for all of this. So seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart very much. It's very appreciated.
Chris Smalls, as a former employee and looking at the amount of money that Bezos has invested into his Blue Origin company, and he was asked a while ago about the real relevance or the real significance of this suborbit space flight compared to remedying the issues that are here on the ground. So as a former employee, when you look at the conditions and you look at the demands that the employees are making, how do you make those two things fit? Or can you?
Well, yeah, it was brought to my attention actually a couple minutes ago that, he said, thanks to all. He said thank you to all the Amazon. Thank you to all the Amazon workers who helped him pay for all of this, pretty much. And that's like a slap in the worker's face. Once again, as you mentioned before, the working conditions here right now, we're outside of this facility is 90 degrees outside. You can imagine the temperature it is inside these warehouses, especially with the effects of global warming this past summer, this summer, these heat waves, workers passing out, fainting. Here, for example, we've seen workers get picked up by ambulances for the last few weeks. These things are real issues, and these are real problems that these workers have. So, for us to get caught up in Jeff Bezos going to space and his space adventure, that doesn't resonate with us. What resonates with the workers right now is trying to have a decent living wage and have the right to unionize and organize without retaliation. So, that's just my main focal point, and that's my main message to the listeners, the audience, the consumers that still support Amazon. We workers have we have our stories to tell, and the only way we're going to do that is if we come together. So we need to stand in solidarity with the workers until, once again, Jeff Bezos is held accountable.
You in a good spot now, Tristan?
Yeah, for now, because the train, I may run out of service and stuff.
Where you going? You going home?
I'm heading home. Mm-hmm.
Damn, you left like. Oh, you was just out and about.
Yeah, I was out and about, just handling. I could have went to the grocery store and stuff, do a lot. So I'm heading home. I'm at like Grand Army Plaza.
All right. We'll do this in reverse then. We'll get you because you're about to go on the train and lose service. So we'll get you in now, and then we'll do the rest later. All right. So
no problem.
I'm gonna ask you a couple questions real quick. So yeah, today we know the media has been going crazy about Jeff Bezos going to space, and I've been contacted by journalists all morning asking how does the workers feel at JFK, how they feel about Jeff Bezos going to space. So I know you did an interview earlier, so I'm gonna ask you that same question. Like, what was your response to his space adventure today?
Well, I feel like Jeff Bezos him going into space because his conscience is most likely getting to him because he knows he feels guilty, but he wanted feel like he's the good guy. But him going into space was just his way to escape and just play the fool. Now he wants to congratulate us, knowing that he is the epitome and cause for our separation that's going on in the Amazon workplace. And yeah, that's just his way of his escape. That's all I can say. So that's my words.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. I feel like him going to space and it's drawing attention away from the real issues, stealing a lot of headlines, and the media is going crazy. He's been on every major media network today, all morning, from Good Morning America to CNN. So it's like it's everywhere. It's all the journalists are talking about today, and My take on it was just like, we don't care. We don't care as far as what this man is doing now. We care about what's going on in these warehouses. And right now, today is a symbolic day for us because, you've seen us out there every day for the last 90 days. So today we hit 3 months organizing Amazon Labor Union. And I think we probably lost him because he's going on the train, but it's all good. That is, for the audience, Tristan works at JFK Staten Island. He's been an organizer on our committee. He's been at every one of our barbecue events. So he's been fully invested into what we got going in Staten Island. So he knows how workers are feeling, and you heard it from yourselves that basically it's a way for Jeff Bezos himself to escape reality, or try to at least. The fact that these workers are in the warehouses sweating their tails off, working their tails off. Today we were handing out waters all day because it was 90 degrees outside. So you can imagine what it is inside these warehouses. I mentioned that on a couple of interviews I did earlier, one with Sputnik Radio out of DC, also with Business Insider. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on still trying to fix the issues that's going on in the warehouse. I can care less about Bezos in space. So thank you, Tristan, for joining us. I know you on the train right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
No, you good, bro. I'll see you tomorrow, man. We'll be out there at the tent. Welcome everybody to It's a Smalls World. Today is a special day. I'm joined by my lovely co-host Blakely. How you doing, Blakely?
Good.
Lip gloss is popping. I see you. So yeah, today's a special day. It's
because of my lip gloss.
That's every day. So every day it's a special day when it comes to Blakely. But yeah, today Jeff Bezos has went to space, the edge of space, and came back
in a penis.
Right. And I wasn't going to say that, but I saw the memes going around, the Austin Power memes. I was rolling out my chair. So
like literally a penis.
It's a dickhead. Plain and simple. But so yeah, today also is 90 days for our Amazon Labor Union. More important than Jeff Bezos going to space, but we got to talk about it. We have to talk about this, Blakely. I know you've seen how the media has been going crazy, Twitter, social media. So what is your take on it? Because I've been talking all day about it. I have to hear what you have to say about it.
Well, I think it is important because it is a reflection on how disgusting our culture is. Or I think it's a commentary, I should say, and a reflection on how disgusting our culture is. Because first of all, as you said, from the moment that this day started, all up until now, they have been doing nonstop propaganda for him all day. Right. Oh my gosh, they did like a segment on CNN that was like so gag. It was like, this has been your lifelong dream ever since you were a boy. You always watched Star Trek or like something like that. And I was like, not a single tough question, not a single like, what do you have to say? And then they like trotted out Van Jones so that he could give Van Jones $100 million for a Civility Corps award or some shit. And everyone's like fighting over like, should Van Jones have gotten it or not? Or should have been somebody else? And I'm like, wait a minute. Let's back up for a second. Why is he giving out awards? He's not an elected official.
Right.
Like, why is he giving out awards? And why? And so that's one problem. Second of all, he's supposedly giving this award so that what? Van Jones can go and give out to some Black-owned business, presumably, so that we can all pretend that he's not disgusting in the way he treats Black and brown people at his business.
Right.
So that he can run more propaganda commercials that I've seen all over the place of the women, of the Black women in oh, we were really interested in starting our own business and we took charge and saw the piano music in the background. And it's like Black women businesses at Amazon. And it's like,
Really?
it's,
No, yeah. It's
and so
heavy.
nobody's putting those two things together. This guy is such a ghoul. And like, I don't think that he feels guilty. I don't think he feels guilty. I think he's a fucking sociopath. You have to be a sociopath to think that, to know that your workers are going through those things and that you think that your money is best spent so that you can get in your little dick or whatever, and so that you can go up to space instead of actually trying to make the world a better place. And I don't know what's more enraging, the fact that he is such a piece of shit and the fact that he does this, or the fact that we have a country and institutions and a media that allows him to do this. Because I guess like billionaires and like people who let power corrupt them are gonna billionaire.
Right.
But like the fact that we live in a country and a culture that lionizes these types of billionaires and this wealth and the ass kissing, when it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite. People should be like, I'm sorry, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you spending money on this? And also when they're like, oh, they want to go on the new frontier of space. How about this country? Because you know what? How about this world, I should say, this planet? Because you know what? It was you motherfuckers who want to go up in space who destroyed this planet. You. All this, you need to recycle. You need to, nah, bitch. It was not regular random people that destroyed the planet. It was fucking billionaires and their fucking corporations deregulating everything and poisoning the Amazon and everything else. And now that they've ruined everything, now they're like, oh, I guess we're just going to go up to space now.
Right. No, you couldn't have said it any better. Earlier, I was on an interview with refresh my memory. Damn, Cass, refresh my memory. Gerald Horn. Thank you. I was on the interview with Gerald Horn, and he mentioned this movie, a movie from years ago with exactly the same thing. All these astronauts were trying to leave planet Earth to go colonize another planet after Earth was pretty much destroyed. So we're actually seeing it in real time, see it right before our eyes.
Let me refer listeners to the movie from a few years ago, Elysium, with Matt Damon and Jodie Foster. It's a dystopian tale about how ecological and climate devastation on planet Earth allows a number of the wealthy and affluent to fly off to another planet. And I'm afraid to say that that movie, which seemed rather fantastical when it came out a few years ago, seems to be an echo of current events.
This is happening. These billionaires are playing space race. Who can get to space first? And their corporations are the ones that, destroying the Earth's atmosphere. This is what we're dealing with: global warming. Amazon facilities, the amount of emissions and gas that come out of these facilities, forget about it. The amount of waste that, those Amazon cardboard boxes that y'all could get at your front doors. Do you know where they go? Do y'all even care where they go? These are the questions that people don't ask. And for us to be focusing so much on these billionaires talking about they're inspiring. How inspiring is for them to have a shit ton of money to buy their own way to space? Who cares about that? That's not inspiring for me.
No, it's disgusting.
It shouldn't be inspiring for a kid either. Like, we're sitting there trying to sugarcoat it, saying, "Oh, look, we couldn't do this when, they walked on the moon. We couldn't do this when women weren't allowed in the space programs."
No, which, by the way, they already did. Like, none of this is new.
Right.
Like, the government already did this, actually. Like, nothing that they're doing is something that hasn't been done before. This is just the first time they've like privatized. It's like, wait a minute, what am I missing? When I first heard about this, I was like, am I missing something? Didn't we already do this like 50 years ago?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, what? This is new because billionaires are doing it? Oh, billionaires are doing it. It's new because billionaires are doing it. And I'm like, you know what? For all these journalists that were reaching out and asking me about the thoughts on I don't have any thoughts on him. The only thoughts I have right now is literally trying to organize and unionize. That is it. And everybody else that's with me, that's been a part of this campaign, feels the same way. The workers of JFK or any facility at Amazon don't give a damn about Bezos going to space.
Somebody I wish would have asked about that though. Somebody, oh my gosh, I wish somebody would have asked him about that.
I know. I wish somebody would have asked Jeff, like, how do you feel about your workers going to work today on 95-degree weather in certain states, like New York, for example, today? So those are the real questions. And I can tell you, we were out there. I'm drenched in sweat. This is the shirt I was wearing out there. It's soaked. I was outside all day in sweat, handing out cold water to the workers. But Jeff Bezos is on TV talking about thank you because you guys paid for all of this. That is the most disrespectful thing any CEO could ever say. I mean, I know he's not the CEO anymore, but former, current, whatever, it doesn't matter.
While he's kissing his ass,
bragging and boasting that he made profits off of people's backs. And here's a slap in your face. We're going to donate all these millions of dollars instead of help giving y'all a decent living wage. Meanwhile,
right.
We're over here helping people find housing. We're over here helping people that, create GoFundMes, pregnant women having miscarriages. But this
understand something to anybody who hears this.
Right.
Charity is a scam. It's a scam. If they really cared about helping people, then they wouldn't be fighting tooth and nail against the union. Because a union means that workers have rights over their own lives and rights over their own wages and bargaining power over their own wages. If you give charity, that means that you only have to do it once. You have control over where it goes and who gets it. And you get to look like a hero while you're actually only giving a tiny percentage of your giant, enormous amount of wealth. And a lot of times you're actually doing it from your own company. So you can actually write it off as like a tax, cost, and then you end up getting reimbursed for certain parts of it. The whole thing is a scam. If anybody hasn't read the book by a non-geared artist, Winner Takes All, about like the whole fraud of philanthropy, they should, because the whole thing is a scam. The entire thing is a scam. So I don't want to hear about his charity and how he helps people and gives away charity. All those people only give charity as a way to look good. All of it's PR. Because if they really actually gave a fuck, then they would not fight so hard against giving union rights to people. When they pretend to care so much about, I can't handle hearing the commercials about Black people anymore. I can't handle it.
Oh, well, that's, you're going to hear about it because, they got to appeal to us.
Yeah, I can't deal with it because it is such a lie and a scam. And I'm like, listening to these ghouls and knowing the way that they treat their largely or disproportionate Black and brown workforce, and then to see their shameless ads and PR campaigns talking about all the Black people that they help with their charity. It is so disgusting.
I created a Black Business Accelerator at Amazon. And now we have a program that's dedicated to making tomorrow a better day for Black businesses.
This is really good quality.
I am Tiffany, and this is just the beginning.
But of course, no one in corporate media is going to call that out. No one's going to say that because they're all friends. They don't want to upset their friends.
They don't want their ratings to drop either. So here we are. What amazes me is that some of the people that's interviewing Jeff Bezos today, same people that interviewed me last year. And so it's like, they all over there in Texas right now interviewing Jeff Bezos, and they're all they're all in awe, and they're all tweeting about it and so exciting, inspiring, and this and that. But then what's going to be really ironic and comical to me a little bit, because the fact that they're all covering Bezos now today. They're going to talk about this shit for who knows, until I guess the next billionaire will be Elon Musk. He's the last one to go, right? He's supposed to go too soon. So, right, until once again, we filed for our union election. Then what? Y'all gonna flip the switch and be like, oh, well, Amazon workers deserve. So this is the thing that blows my mind about, just the media. And I know this is how it goes. They can't be, on one side. They gotta play the fence. So it's like, I gotta sit here and watch you guys talk about Bezos, and then in a couple weeks or months or whatever, when we're ready to file, then they're gonna come trying to talk about us and put us in the media like they did with the RWDSU, which is all fine and dandy. But here's the issue that you just mentioned. Why not ask Bezos while you have him in front of you? Some of y'all out there, they may watch our show or not, but some of these journalists are out there right now, face to face, interviewing Bezos all day long. Why not ask him the questions directly when you have the opportunity? Why wait until, we got to get to a certain point in our campaign or file for an election or make a protest or demonstration or somebody gets fired before y'all come running to the workers when you got the boss in front of you right now? And that's the thing that gets on my nerves. It's just the fact that, you guys are quick to pick up the phone and blow me up middle of the night, early in the morning, late night, and I'll answer. And y'all want me to give y'all workers to talk to and workers' stories and opinions, and I do it. But when y'all have Bezos in front of y'all or a CEO, because they're going to space, y'all ignore all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's all about Bezos now and how inspiring it is for him to fly to the fucking edge of space. When really all his workers are suffering right now, going to work, working double time. They offer double time overtime in the month of July. So they're giving out mandatory overtime in some of these facilities. We're working in hot weather, no water. They're handing out warm water. They're handing out warm water in their facilities. Workers are passing out. Workers are having nosebleeds. These are true stories. These are actual stories that just took place. And it's crazy to me how we just ignore all of that when you have Jeff Bezos himself. But this is what we're dealing with. This is why we have to create platforms like this and bring workers on like Tristan and Derek and Connor and the rest of them, because nobody else is going to give them that opportunity until we get to a certain point. And it's just not fair to us, not fair to workers, and it's not fair to people, But this is the time that we live in. This is the time, that we have to deal with when it comes to media.
Yeah, and then they wonder why some people aren't, or a lot of people actually aren't excited about this. Why would a lot of people, but like, I get that there's, a ton of, rich ghouls who are excited about it, and a ton of like, aspirational, wanna be billionaires who, think that they're going to one day join the ruling class that are excited about it. And then of course, all the media sycophants who are just also, like just little trolls who do whatever the rich and elite tell them to do without actually doing any independent or critical thinking. But there are a lot of people who aren't excited about it, who aren't impressed by it, who think it's actually really gross. I know I'm not alone in that. I know there are other people who are like me who see that and are like, gag, I don't want to watch this shit, because we're living in a fucking gilded age. The fucking earth is on fire, okay? The earth is on fire. People don't have health care. People don't have rights. Amazon workers don't have rights. They don't have living wages. They don't have a union. They don't have all these things. So if you have that context and you know that like the rich are just getting richer and the poor are just getting poorer and people don't have health care and people are dying from all these climate change related events like heat waves and floods and all these things, and people can't afford food and people are getting sick and people are losing their homes and BlackRock is just buying them up, and you have that context, then seeing more decadence of the wealthy squander their wealth that they made through off the backs of working class people or through generational wealth, just getting it handed down to them through inheritance. No, it's not inspiring. It's not exciting. It's fucking gross. It's gross. And I love how the right wing is always like so excited about that too. It's like so excited about it, even though it's like, I'm sorry, this is the same party, the same right wing. That's always like, people just don't want to go back to work. What happened to work? What happened to work ethic? We don't like handouts. It's like, oh, really? Because a lot of this shit is just handouts. It's just generational wealth being passed down by people who are like really rich. Didn't Elon Musk get like a lot of his money from like some person in his family who like owned like fucking blood diamonds from Africa? I work for a company that is really ghoulish and spies on me all the time. And if I go to pee and I walk away from my Slack for 2 seconds, they're like, where are you at? Why aren't you sitting at your computer? We noticed that you weren't on Slack. Did you go outside? Like, it literally was like, I got like reprimanded for that. Like, you walked away from your Slack. Seems to be a little bit of slacking off.
I want to know like how they watch checking your Slack. It's crazy because
have you ever used Slack before?
Yeah, I hate it.
Okay, it's really annoying. In order to be active on Slack, you have to be on your computer constantly. Otherwise, the little green available button, disappears. Right. Okay, so if you gotta go take a shit and you walk away from your computer for like 30 seconds, the Slack goes off. So they're watching you all the time. And if you get up to go to the bathroom and your little Slack goes off, they're like, hey, what's that all about? Is she slacking off? Why isn't she sitting at her desk? Why isn't she working? Looks like she's taking too much company time for herself. Like, literally, it's insane. It's insane.
You at home. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you guys really like, I'm always on my fucking computer, always on my fucking computer. And I'm like, you're talking about my Slack bubble? Like, because like what? Like I went to the bathroom. Now we're talking about my Slack bubble. And this is the same place that, as I told you, has tiers of people. So important people who are salaried. By that, I mean white also, mostly. Now, I need to be fair. There's like a token black person who's like the equity inclusion or whatever it's called person. So, that. But, and then there's the hourly employees, which are mostly black and brown people. And then the occasional, white trash people who like live mostly in Kentucky and like me. So like, there's a few of us. Hey, and that's not anything negative to Kentucky, okay? I love you guys, okay? So, or white trash people, okay? Because that's who I am. All right. So anyway,
your bio.
That's my bio. Yes, that's who I am. So no shade. I'm just saying that none of the nicely put together white people are the hourlies. Okay, it's those of us who definitely eat cereal with a fork. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's the ones who are on the hourly that are white. Okay, so moving on. So we were like, okay, so I had to read this document that was like just breaking down all the ways that they're like super inclusive and want to let you know how much they care about Black people and how inclusive they are. And then it goes further to say, if you're a salaried employee, these are all your benefits. This, unlimited paid PTO for rest and relaxation. And then it gets to the hourly employees. It's like, you get whatever X amount of days off and that's it. You got to work. We got this many holidays. We're open every holiday. You get to request like this many times off. You can be fired at any time. This is at will employment. You can do it's like, so when it comes to the salary, it's like, you got a limited time off for rest and relaxation and this and that. Oh, you're an hourly employee? You're an hourly employee? Oh, no. You don't get unlimited PTO. You don't get rest and relaxation. Did I hear that right? No. You don't get shit. In fact, you get to work holidays and you'll like it.
You work for mini Amazon. we're not going to say the name of the company because that's a whole nother story by itself. But we'll be there when you're ready to unionize. We got you. We got you covered.
Yes, I only do not say the name, obviously, because I do not want to be retaliated against and attacked by some giant tech company.
I tell you what, if they see you with me, they ain't gonna fuck with you yet. But if they want some smoke, I got some smoke for them too. So I hope they are watching actually, but they better not retaliate against you for this. And I don't think it will. You know, it wouldn't be their best entrance of their business right now.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be easier to unionize because it's, you know, obviously less employees that we're dealing with. So
well, and especially since the only thing I'm saying or pointing out is that, like, you know, how about treat your workers better? Because they don't. It's like this tiered company in this like caste system where they have like, you know, all they do is the typical bullshit corporate speak about, you know, equity and inclusion. But basically, it's the same tiered system where they have a bunch of really high up people who are all white. And then they've got a bunch of hourly employees who don't make a lot of money, who are like poor white people, black and brown people, mostly black and brown people. And they get not very much money. They don't get the same benefits that the salaried employees get. They don't get the same benefit of the doubt that the salaried employees get. They don't get the vacation the salaried employees get. And then they also get monitored. You know, there's a lot more freedom for the salaried employees. They get to kind of come and go when they please. They get to leave. They can go have a, you know, hour lunch break. They can go on an appointment to the doctor if they want to. If you're an hourly employee, you better be in the fucking front of your desk constantly so they can monitor your ass on Slack. And if you want a break, you better go to your fucking 10-minute scheduled break, you hear? And then you better go to your fucking scheduled lunch, you hear? There's no, you get to leave early so you can go to the goddamn chiropractor, okay? You ain't salary.
No time for a relaxation.
Yeah, no rest and relaxation for you, pores.
All right, we got to wrap it up. It's been a great conversation. And thank you for sharing that with us, Blakely. That was amazing. I told you already, you got to do stand-up comedy. You got to do it. We're going to get you there. We're going to get you there. Once this show is really popping and your lip gloss is popping.
You're going to force me on the stage?
On there. So we got to go. We'll be back next week. Check us out. It's a Smalls World Gang Gang. We out.